And now, ladies and gentlemen, Top Rank Incorporated and Budweiser present Part 3 of this great boxing triple header. This bout is sanctioned by the New Jersey State Athletic Control Board, Boxing Commissioner Larry Hazard Sr., Chairman Jerry Gormley, Board members Gary Shaw and Richard Harrison, Deputy Commissioner Lawrence Wallace. Physicians at ringside, Chief Medical Officer Dr. Frank B. Doggett. Attending physicians, Dr. Earl Shaw and Dr. Charles Wilson. The timekeeper is Lindsay Tucker. The scoring will be done on a 10-point must system by the following 3 judges: John Potteray, John Riley, and Al DeVito. And when the bell rings, the man in charge of the action, referee Tony Orlando. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from Donald J. Trump's Taj Mahal here in Atlantic City, New Jersey, let's get ready to rumble! 10 rounds of boxing. This is in the super middleweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black trunks with white trim, from Yonkers, New York, his professional record, 33 victories against 7 defeats with 5 draws, 19 KOs, currently ranked number 10 in the world by the International Boxing Federation. Ladies and gentlemen, Doug Cobra DeWitt. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the gold trunks with black letters and weighing in at an even 168 pounds. He's fighting out of Ann Arbor, Michigan. Undefeated as a professional with a record of 32-0, 2 draws, 21 KOs. Currently holds the IBF Middleweight Championship of the World title not on the line. Ladies and gentlemen, James Lights Out TONEY.
Hey, Doug. James, you both received your instructions prior to coming to the ring. Therefore, I expect you to obey all the rules and listen to my commands. Okay, touch Doug, go back to the corner.
You know, Gil, they had this weigh-in yesterday. A fellow like Tony could have put on 10 pounds. He's a 160-pound champion. He might weigh close to 180 by now.
I think that's really a ridiculous rule. I mean, they say it's for the safety of the boxers. They don't like them to have to dry out to make weight. But what about the fact that one guy may have a 10 or 12-pound weight advantage if one guy's a natural 168 pounds and the other guy can put on that weight in 24 hours?
Now remember that Gil Clancy says Doug DeWitt is a startlingly slow beginner. So the opportunity exists here early for Tony to do some damage. If he can land something, he tried a left hook and now comes with a couple of right hands. And so far, DeWitt is blocking the hard stuff.
Let's go, let go. Come on,
Across the ring, I see Roy Jones now seated at the right arm of Donald Trump. Wonder what that will lead to down the road.
Men like Donald Trump have an instinct, an ear for stars.
Tony landed an uppercut there that snapped DeWitt's head back. Doug trying to get out of the blocks a little more rapidly this time and lands a low blow, and Tony Orlando lets him get away with it. Tony believes he'll be a lot sharper at this weight.
Yes, that's one of the things he said to us. He said he had to kill himself to make 160 pounds. Took all the strength out of him. He said, we're going to see a different fighter tonight. Much more effective.
The common rap against him is that he does not fight the full 3 minutes of every round. It was graphically apparent in his last victory over Mike McCallum. He coasted to the easy decision over McCallum, and McCallum felt as though he had been treated badly.
What was that?
Well, I think Tony went down because of a low blow.
I think he was pushed down by Doug DeWitt and allowed himself to go down. That was his way of protesting the fact that DeWitt was roughing him up on the inside.
I got you.
Let him go. Let him go. Right. Step back to him. Off the side.
And there, DeWitt's walking right in, not behind the jab. Tony just missed a real good left hook and just landed a good left hook.
That's right. And DeWitt's a little wobbly right now. And Tony trying to follow up with heavy stuff.
Keep your punches up.
The first left hook that he missed, and DeWitt was wide open, could have ended the bout. Doug just pawing in return at Tony. Now he lands a body shot. Tony comes with an uppercut that again snaps back ahead of Doug DeWitt. Right chin, but didn't land flush.
This is just a normal fight for Doug DeWitt. These are the kind of fights he's in all the time.
No time. Hold it. Let's keep those punches up now. It's a warning. Let's go. Next time I'll take a point. Let's go. Time.
DeWitt waves to his fans after having survived round one.
You got to get off first. You're waiting a little too long with this guy. It's no good. And you got to use that jab. He's not expecting the jab. You got to move the jab, move the head. You're leaving the head straight. Get off. This guy is not that great. You only got them thin. So, all right, you got his best punches there.
He's doing it. But don't wait for him. Yeah, right. You don't like it down there. You don't like his body time. You be first.
All right, here's Tony with his best combination of the round. Good right hand followed by a left uppercut. He did throw quite a few punches in that round. Let's see if he can sustain that pace over several rounds.
Well, this is what he said the weight difference is going to be. He's not going to be drained. He's going to be able to sustain the attack. So let's see if it really happens.
The 12-round decision over McCallum was on August 29. So Tony's had about 3 months to get ready to fight here at 168. Uppercut landed inside. DeWitt not offering in return as Tony goes to the body and to the head early in round 2.
Well, that's what DeWitt does. He'll go and he'll let a guy throw punches and he'll get nailed with the punches. Then all of a sudden, he'll lash out and throw a good combination.
DeWitt doesn't look terribly interested here, Gil. Is that the way he looks when he gets off to one of those
Yes, he can drive a trainer crazy. He can really drive. I've seen him start fights like this, start off the fights, and by the 5th or 6th round, you see a completely different fighter if he gets into the 5th or 6th round. But I've seen this so many times.
Looks as if he'd prefer to be somewhere else. You heard Victor Valle asking him to jab. Doug's response is to call with it, and now Tony lands a short left hook in tight.
DeWitt is not getting off at all. He's allowing Tony to set the pace to all the getting off.
And Tony again elects to go to the canvas to illustrate the fact that he's being pushed down.
Let's go.
By a clutching Doug DeWitt. Right hand lead almost landed for DeWitt.
Come on, Doug. You still have that head. Break. Step back. Let me stay up the head. I'll take the point away.
Take it, James. Take it, son.
Again, Victor Valle had asked Doug DeWitt to jab. I haven't seen a jab as yet this round.
I saw one pawing jab, but you're right. He seems to have completely ignored Victor Valle. There was only mild booing for Tony when he entered the ring. When last he appeared in this particular arena, it was in the controversial split decision over Delaware's Dave Tiberi, and that bout prompted a Senate subcommittee investigation of boxing. Straight right hand on the kisser for DeWitt, and DeWitt smiled as if to say, oh, if that's the best he's got, it's no big deal. But Doug isn't throwing much in return. There was a jab, Gil.
Yes, he's landed 2 solid jabs this entire round.
Better than none. There's another uppercut, and Tony's landing that uppercut almost at will.
You're waiting too long. You're giving this guy a lot of lead. No good. You must be a little more fast. You're waiting too long to deliver. You got to get off first. You got to get off first. You got to get him busy. Gave him 2 rounds already. It's no good.
Right? Pick up your jab a little more. Watch your head in that game. And watch him trying to push.
Yeah, he's trying hard.
Here's Tony again, over a low left hand, by DeWitt with his straight right hand. But DeWitt has not been affected as yet by any of Tony's punches.
It's a funny thing about Doug DeWitt. He's known to just about have an iron chin, but every once in a while, he got knocked out in a fight with an ordinary guy with one punch. Sambu Kalambay, no big puncher, also stopped him. But yet I've seen him in with the guys, best bombers in the business, hit him with big shots on the chin and nothing happened. So
you take a fall for Sambu Kalambay and you've taken a fall.
Anyway, given the opponent, the opposition, we could compare Roy Jones' hitting power with James Toney.
Well, I would have to say that Jones really impressed me tonight. I mean, I think that every punch he throws can get you out of there with one punch. He's really a bomber.
Get off the head. Come on, Doug, get off that head. Let's go.
Well, to the degree that Toney has any reputation for punching power, he owes a lot of it to one big punch. The mammoth left hook that flattened Michael Nunn. Set up his title-winning TKO of Nunn in Nunn's hometown of Davenport, Iowa.
And you know, that really happens. Then the guy gets a reputation as a puncher, and he's really not a puncher. I think that's one of the things that happened to Razor Ruddock. He knocked out...
That's 2 warnings. Next one's a point. You understand?
He knocked out Michael Dokes. And thought he was a good left hooker, and he forgot how to box, forgot how to jab, and that's all he threw was that left hand in all his other fights.
Wait! No punching, step back. No punching, step back.
And Tony's putting on some kind of an act here now.
Oh, there's a right cross that landed.
And a left hook that landed.
But DeWitt is able to stand up so far. And he's still moving his legs pretty well.
As I say, Jim, this is another night at the office for Doug DeWitt. He's fought these kind of bombers before, except that he has not shown much offense at all.
I know it's a long time ago, Gil, back in 1988, but DeWitt had Hearns in trouble, didn't he?
I did that fight, and he had Tommy Hearns busted up badly over both eyes, and the fight was in Detroit. It really looked like it was going to be stopped. It was a close fight, and Tommy Hearns won a decision, and that's when Tommy Hearns could really fight.
I said 88. Let me correct myself. It was October 17, 1986. A lot of water under the bridge since then. Now DeWitt starts to fight back.
Apparently that's when DeWitt could fight too.
Well, he certainly isn't as good a fighter as he had been. There's no question about that. I'm sure Doug knows that himself. But again, he's got the experience. You see him when he gets inside, he pushes James Toney down, things like that. And that's the experience of an experienced fighter.
Tony's still landing a lot. In the last minute of this round, he appears to have at least awakened something in Doug DeWitt. Whether it's a real will to fight remains to be seen.
Up to this point, Doug DeWitt has not been aggressive at all. When he does become the real Doug DeWitt, he starts putting his punches together pretty good. Throws nice combinations.
You're boxing good. Just continue. You're boxing good. You're breaking on him with the left hook, breaking on him with the right hand. Them uppercuts that you're hitting him with, come back with the left hook behind him. You hit him for good uppercuts. Come back with that left hook.
Rough with this guy. You're too dainty with this guy. Get going. He threw his best punches now. He cannot hurt you. He never could hurt you. And then now go.
Here's the second low blow of the fight by DeWitt. I would say that was down around Mexico City. And there's that straight right hand. But DeWitt rode with the punch just enough to take the real shock out of it, Gil.
That's right. When you really get nailed is when you get caught coming in with a punch. But he was able to go with that punch, take most of the sting out of it. And Victor Valley's really trying to light a fire under Doug DeWitt. He's telling him he has to get going, has to throw his hands. Let's see now if he pays attention.
And we have a nice round-numbered disparity in activity level. Through 3 rounds, according to punch-stat numbers, Toney has attempted 178 punches, and DeWitt has attempted 78. A difference of an even 100.
Toney has been more active, as he promised.
He won the decision over McCallum in a fight in which he was significantly less active than McCallum. But the judges were impressed with the effect of his punches as opposed to the effect of those by the lighter hitting McCallum. Hard uppercut.
I can't understand what Doug DeWitt is doing. He's walking back. He's not even dancing back. Walking back against the ropes and allowing Tony to get set and throw punches.
Well, I don't think DeWitt is really there. He's not the kind of fighter of whom you would say in most instances that he has shown up just to collect a paycheck. But so far tonight, we have not seen what Doug DeWitt can sometimes bring to a fight.
He has to get off. Doug DeWitt has to get off first to do anything in this fight, but he constantly allows James Toney to throw the first punch.
He's just not organized in there, Gil.
Certainly isn't. There's no plan.
Seems to be allowing his attention to wander. I don't know what else is going on in the arena. Maybe he thinks that Tony's going to wear down or get frustrated and give him an opportunity. DeWitt bouncing off the ropes toward James Toney.
But he still is not throwing, never getting off first, not throwing any punches.
Jim, my wife says I snore when I sleep, but I never heard myself. Will you tell me and wake me if you hear me snoring?
Was that you?
I think we can depend on producer Michael Whalen to beat me to the punch on that one. If he's watching it, this fight will provide plenty of fodder for Iran Barkley to disparage his man Tony as they look ahead to February.
Again, DeWitt just never gets off. Never gets off.
Tony just missing with the long right hand, lands the uppercut. But DeWitt is unhurt, just ducking around and away.
Larry, what was Doug DeWitt saying to you just now when he went back to the corner? He shook his head and said something.
He says, "Are you snoring, Larry?" Harold, how do you have the fight scored so far?
Larry, not much controversy in this fight. 40-36 favor James Toney. Jesus, he's just pounding on a guy. The only thing I can say about this fight is Doug DeWitt's got a heart as big as Philadelphia because he's taking Tony's best shots and he just hangs in there. But Dougie's got to pick up his offense somewhere. He's got to start throwing punches or he's just totally out of it. One thing, James Toney does fight a 3-minute round. I don't know. He's really going all out.
Let's get going. I'm telling you, you can do it now. Get you on my head.
Everything's coming off of that. You break him up, you setting up in there.
Go, Jack. Never move the fight until the end. Come on, do not move. You're a little back behind that. Get going now. Get rough now.
DeWitt, not terribly hurt, gave Victor Valley a look there as though he had never seen him before.
You know, he just seems like he's not even in the arena, like his mind isn't in the arena.
Well, Doug DeWitt said to us yesterday that through part of his career he had been bedeviled by personal problems, which made it impossible for him to perform in the ring.
The second half of that story is that there was an older woman in the room and she raised her hand and said, "I'm the personal problem."
Come on, let up.
And she was still there.
Keep your head up. Head up. Watch your head, fellas.
Underneath, Doug! Underneath! Dig him underneath!
Again, DeWitt just walks in. He's not throwing any punches. He's not feinting. He's not looking to hook to the body. He's not looking to throw jabs. He's not looking really to do anything.
Now Doug DeWitt comes alive a little bit.
Watch your head. Watch your head.
He tries to double up with the left as Tony is pinned against the ropes. The two fighters walking around the ring and occasionally joining the battle.
DeWitt this round at least is throwing punches with a little bit of snap in them.
Oh, yeah. For anyone who's tuned in late, this is a vast improvement in Doug DeWitt's output. He threw 12 punches in the 4th round.
Let go of his head, Doug.
Total.
Let's go, let's go.
Right. No punching, no punching. Step back, step back. To the left. Let's go left. Get up first, get up first.
Left hook. Snapped DeWitt's head.
Let go of his hand.
But nothing has gotten to his legs yet.
Let's extend.
Another snapping left hook. And now DeWitt is staggered. Well, let's see if Tony has the power to take him out. Because DeWitt has nothing right here. Taking a lot of shots, full on.
Well, Tony said he was going to work 3 minutes around. He's certainly working.
And DeWitt comes back throwing a little bit. Well, that was the first time in the bout that I felt as though DeWitt's legs had buckled. There's another solid left hook. But he's going to make it out of round 4, Gil. Make it round 5.
This guy has been hitting you with the best punch there. You're not throwing. You're not throwing. That's the whole trouble. You're waiting for this guy to lead all the time. It's not good. You cannot wait for this guy. You got to get up and move the head. You're making a miss, but you're not throwing no punches. You got to get up first. Come on. Come on. Don't get some determination in your head. For Christ's sake, this is not the greatest fighter. Believe me.
Here's that flurry, and DeWitt, to his credit, stood up to some real terrible punishment. Very good body punch by Tony in the middle of all of that, Gil.
Now we're talking about the punching power of James Toney compared to Roy Jones. Do you think that Doug DeWitt would be there if Jones hit him with those punches on
Not
the
a
chin?
chance.
So then what you're saying basically is Jones is by far the harder puncher.
Looks that way to me. Doesn't it look that way to you?
It certainly does.
Do you think DeWitt would have stood up to that barrage if it had been Roy Jones throwing the punches?
No, I certainly do not.
Well, in the next 6 months, we'll find out, won't we?
If all goes according to plan.
Get off that head, Doug. Come on. Off the head.
Tony versus Barkley in February. And then down the road, the winner of Tony Barkley against Roy Jones. That's the plan. Straight left hand, DeWitt taking shots again.
DeWitt just will not fire. He just will not throw any punches. This is very, very frustrating.
Which makes you wonder why he doesn't go down. If he's not going to throw back, why just take all the punishment? Kind of sleepwalking in there.
He's not in the fight. And Tony must be saying to himself, what do I have to hit this guy with to get some effect?
This is like one of those boxing movies in which something terrible has happened in the life of DeWitt, and the people at ringside don't know about it as they watch him get pounded around the ring. I just don't think we can expect the sudden dramatic turnaround. Almost 2 full minutes into round 6, Doug DeWitt has attempted, by punch stat computation, 3 punches in this round.
And Victor Valley told him, you have to get off first, you have to throw punches. He just, as you said,
he's not listening to Victor Valley.
He looks at Victor Valley like he doesn't know him. Has to be frustrating for the trainer.
As if Victor Valley hasn't had enough frustrations in his life already, right?
Listen, Jim, I'd like to ask you, is Larry Merchant still here?
Good sound effects.
No punches. Stay back. Stay back. Let's go. Let's go.
Now, DeWitt should right then and there jump in and snap and try to lead and throw a punch. All these fighting completely defensively, which is making him take more punishment.
Let him go. Let him go. Let him go. All right, fight. That's it.
Bring it out,
Off the head. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Let him go. Let him go. Let him go. All right.
Stop. All right. Look, Doc, you want me to stop this fight?
I don't have nothing.
Huh?
I don't have nothing.
All right.
There's no use going on.
Don't do it,
All right.
doggy.
I'm doing it.
Don't
Stop
do
the
it.
fight. I don't have nothing.
All right. That's it. I don't want it.
You heard Doug DeWitt. He doesn't have anything left. Victor Valley has gone over to the referee and said that's it. He is retiring.
Well, we hope he retires. If that's what's left of his boxing career, he does himself a great service by retiring. They throw in the towel at the end of round 6, denying the crowd even the climax of watching the man go down and take a count. But better for Doug's health that he do it that way.
Well, again, he showed us that he had nothing in the fight, and he realized it himself, and I guess that was the right thing for him to do.
I said at the start of this fight that we would get one surprise tonight, one better fight than we thought. I couldn't have been wronger.
Well, you're entitled to one every once in a while. It was theater of the expected tonight. The most unexpected thing being Doug DeWitt quitting on his stool at the end of 6 rounds. Gil, you ever had a fighter behave like that?
No, I haven't. I mean, I've tried all. I've had fighters that wouldn't pay attention to me, but it wouldn't last long because you'd think of something to do. I've told fighters, if you don't go out this round and back the guy up the entire round, when you come back, I'm not going to be in the corner. Different things. You try different things. And I'm sure Victor was frustrated. He was trying to do everything he could, but Doug DeWitt just wasn't there tonight, which we pointed out from the very beginning. It looked like his mind was completely someplace else.
Harold, did you score at a nice, neat 54-60?
Yeah, I guess so, Jim. But I want to tell you something. I saw more punches in Ty Domi against Bob Probert than I saw Doug DeWitt throw tonight.
For those of you who aren't hockey fans, Harold is thinking back to a National Hockey League bout earlier this week between Domi and Probert. Right now, let's go up to ring announcer Michael Buffer for the official particulars of this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, the corner of Doug DeWitt asked referee Tony Orlando to stop the bout as he was unable to continue. The winner by technical knockout at the end of the round number 6. His record now 33-0-2, 22 KOs. James Lights Out Toney. And ladies and gentlemen, James Toney will be beating Iran the Blade Barkley for Barkley's super middleweight title on February 13th on HBO.
Final punch stat numbers.